Okay, cool. Day 5. I want to talk about the importance of measuring. Oh, fuck. Measuring your blood levels when you're doing keto. Like I was talking about, it's kind of important to measure, how much weight your food actually is, and essentially, so you can have an accurate assessment of how much you're consuming, okay? And the thing with keto is, like, how do you know you're actually in keto? It's not like there's a sign in your forehead that says keto. I mean, there's some, symptoms, factors that say you're transitioning to keto, like dehydration, slight headache, you're kind of tired, things of that nature. But there's no clinical, methodical way to know if you're actually in keto. There's no good way to measure it unless you buy one of these. And this is basically a keto meter, Precision Extra. It's not cheap, but a lot of you out there that's dieting, that don't take this shit seriously, like talking to you right now, you need to get one of this if you're gonna do ketosis. And the reason is because if you are not in ketosis and you're eating too much protein, then you're just eating, basically your body's processing sugars, and your body is not producing ketones, and you're still eating a shit ton of fat. So what will happen to you is that your health will seriously degrade because your body is using glucose, and fat's just going to build up in your liver, and you'll get a fatty liver, amongst a bunch of other unintended consequences, right? You don't want to pump fat in your body and have it stay there. The point of just having fat and no sugar is to have your body metabolize fat into ketones, right? So if your body is not metabolizing fat into ketones, you're just eating a disproportionate amount of fat for no good reason, because you're still burning sugar. So you do definitely want your body to be burning the fats that you're eating, as well as extra fat that is already stored in your body, right? You want your body to process fat so you can just kind of you can just lose all that weight. And all that weight will just be fat weight, not muscle weight or any other weight, right? So wanting this is super important. For those of you that's like kind of serious out there getting supplements and things like that, you buy like a $50 protein powder thing or $100 like 7-pound protein powder thing. I would just see this as an investment, except this lasts a lot longer. This is a blood test. You can get urine strips for a lot cheaper, but they're less accurate. I would highly recommend this, because with this, it in the urine dipstick, it's gonna show purple when you pee on a urine dipstick. However, that's all you get. It's binary. You're in ketosis or you're not. This is good because it will show you how much of a ketosis level you're in, right? So for example, you'll want it to be 1.5 to 3 as the optimal ketogenic diet range. And if you go over 3, you don't get any more benefits than if you were in the optimal range of 1.5 to 3. So, I made a mistake before, and I'll show you right here when I did this last time. So this was yesterday's measurement at 1.8. It's kind of dark. Maybe I'll open a light or something. But 1.5 to 3 is what you really want to be in. Yeah. This is 1.8. Okay. And then previously, July 31st, probably of 2017, I was at 7.4. This is near the end of the cycle, but this is a bit too high, right? I don't like 7.4 numbers and like 6.3 numbers. The reason is because, and when I started diet, it was 0.8. And the reason is because if it's too high, you don't get any more benefits, but that's a strong indication that you're eating too little. Your caloric deficit is too much, and you're maybe losing too much weight. And what that is indicative of, if you're way over 3 in the ketone measurement, is you might be also losing muscle, right? So you do want to be burning fat, but you don't want to be burning so much fat that you're kind of in danger of losing muscle again, where your body's kind of getting desperate. It's like, hey, yeah, we can metabolize fat, but we can't metabolize fat fast enough for this guy expending this much energy. So let's also metabolize some muscles for some glucose, because glucose, again, is a lot more efficient energy injection in your body. So if ketones by itself is not able to power your body is going to go to a last resort, which is going to consume your muscles, and that's the last thing you want, right? So, but if you're using just like a cheap urine stick, it's not going to tell you that, right? So, you know, spend $150-200 on this, including the strips, right? You know, I think it's worth it because it's something that it's a ketogenic diet. It's always a tool you do in your toolbox to do a crash cut if you'd like. And also, it's kind of important because, you know, as far as justifying the cost goes, you know, you get BCAAs, pre-workouts, stuff like that, $70 to $100, and that's an important tool for you to enhance your workouts and be able to recover properly. And this is really, you know, a tool for you to be able to execute the ketogenic diet properly. Without this, it's kind of impossible to know whether you're doing it right. You're kind of flying blind, so to speak. So there's no way to know whether or not you're executing the ketogenic diet properly, right? Like, there's a lot of room for error, or there's almost no room for error in the ketogenic diet. So having a tool like this is to tell you, like, hey, you're exactly on track. Keep doing what you're doing, versus, hey, you're in way too deep in keto, you're in starvation ketosis, and we're going to start consuming muscle now. Then you can up your calorie intake, right? It's still all fat, but you can kind of up your calorie intake by 100 or 200 calories, something like that, so that your body, you know, readjusts back to it, right? And you can kind of keep testing, keep iterating. But without this, you have no good feedback loop, right? With the urine stick, you're in ketosis, but how much in the ketosis are you in, right? Like, are you actually destroying your muscles, right? Because the whole point of ketosis is so that you can lose a lot of weight fast without feeling a ton of hunger, and being able to maintain your muscle mass, right? That's, you know, so if you're doing ketosis to the extreme, your caloric deficit is so extreme that losing muscle, it kind of defeats the whole entire purpose of doing the ketogenic diet. Anyway, definitely get one of these. If you are doing a keto diet, I would not recommend urine strips. One, they're not really accurate a lot of times, and two, yeah, it's just, if you want to do it right, like, just do it right? Just get something that is good quality grade. It's a one-time investment. I mean, the strips are kind of expensive; they're like $2 a pop, but I certainly would recommend one of these to test your ketones out. So, yeah, I don't know what else to say. You kind of have to be serious about this project, ketogenic diet project, or any other project that requires almost no margin of error. And a way to be serious is to kind of get a measuring tool. Because, I mean, yeah, if you don't measure, it's just like, you can tell people you're on a keto diet, but are you on a keto diet? Your body could still be consuming glucose, so it's like, you know, it's like all for naught, right? Just eating a bunch of fat for no reason, upping your bad cholesterol, getting fatty liver, exposing yourself to fatty liver, things on nature. So highly don't recommend that. So today's whole point, to recap, is just get one of these Prisoner Extra ketones. Okay, don't get the glucose ones. Make sure in these specifications they say it'll measure ketones. Not a lot of machines measure ketones. You know, so definitely pick the correct one. Otherwise, you're spending like $100+ for something that is like only measuring glucose. And you can measure glucose with this if you want. And your glucose level should be on point as well. If you're diabetic or something like that, refer to like other sites and your doctor and stuff like that. But your body should still be able to produce, like your blood sugar should still be there. Otherwise you will die. You know, but this one, yeah, definitely check out your glucose or your ketone levels. So if you're doing a ketogenic diet, check out your ketone levels. I think it just makes a lot of sense. And yeah, I don't know how I can hammer on this point any further. It's like $100-200, but it's well worth it because fundamentally the ketogenic diet could get very dangerous if you do it incorrectly, or if you stray and like go outside a very thin margin of error. So having something like this to protect yourself is very, very good. Please get one if you're actually gonna do the keto diet in a serious way. If you don't get one, then you kind of just doing it at your own risk, right? There's no way for you to adjust. There's no way to see where you're at. There's no way to see like if you should eat more food, less food, more fat, less fat. Yeah. So that's all I have today. Day 5. Day 5. All right, couple more days until the first week is over, and then we'll do the weigh-in. Super excited for that. Yeah, outside of that, I'll try to come up with something tomorrow as well. I don't know how I can come up with 21 days of shit to talk about, honestly. It's just like...